everybody, hope you're all doing well. I titled this video, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Now I want to do this video because a lot of people don't seem to understand the bigger picture of what I'm doing here, what the goal is here, what we plan on doing here at BDS. A lot of people are being quick to pass advice or give opinions, whether it be through email or messages or on comments, which I kind of want to go over because a lot of people have a skewed reality of what ministry really is all about. A lot of people think that, you know, all we do is make videos and that's all there is to it. You want more videos, you want things to be done a certain way. And I want to let you guys know that I didn't give my life to Jesus and serve God so that I could be put into a box and serve God the way that you want me to serve Him and stick to the way you want me to conduct things. Now, I made 2 videos with Chris and people think that he's taking over my channel, which is pretty weird if you ask me, because nowhere have I ever said that I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. In fact, I've said the opposite, that I'm going to continue making videos and teachings the way I'm led to do it. And if God is leading me to do it differently, then He's leading me to do it differently. But I want to go over some of the comments that I've received on the last video, the one Chris and I did about the effeminate spirit and the effeminate gospel, because what I noticed is me and Chris had the same video on both of our channels. On his channel, he got a very good response, but on my channel, I had a lot of people proving the point that I was making in the video about how people are pretty much promoting a false gospel where it doesn't bring offense and conviction. And lo and behold, people are commenting because they're offended. They're offended at Chris. They're offended at what we've said. They're offended that I'm here. They think that I'm making a mistake. And sorry, Jax is barking. He's trying to chase a rabbit. Hey, I'm making a video. But I wanted to share some of the comments that I received and just kind of respond to them publicly, because I have received a lot of feedback because people don't seem to understand that I didn't just come here to be a part of Chris's ministry. That's not what this is. That's not what this is at all. I had my own ministry before I came here. Chris knows that, and we've talked about this. I came here so that we could come into ministry together.
I called Brother Josh and I said, "Hey man, you've been doing a great job. I'd like for you to come out and help with our ministry if that's what you're led to do."
And that was something he made very clear. Literally within the first week, I think it was the first time that I met up with Chris when I moved out here, we went and met up with a lawyer, and he had my name put on the land and the church. People are telling me to get as far away from this as I can. People are telling me to leave here and all this crazy. You're asking me to leave my own ministry. This church that's behind me and this land is in my name. How are you going to tell me to leave my ministry? I came in here to go into ministry with Chris, not to just join his ministry, because yeah, I have a gift of teaching and I'm going to serve God the way I'm led. And He's not going to stop that, nor has He even tried to. And the funny thing is, a lot of people were saying things like, oh, he's controlling you and all this stuff, and they didn't like him. And that last video was my idea. That last video was pretty much me telling Chris, let's do this video. It wasn't his idea at all. I was the one who brought up the topic. So if you guys didn't like the message, take it up with me. You understand? Yeah, there may be some things said that you don't understand, or maybe we said something and didn't explain it a certain way to help you interpret it the way we're trying to interpret it, but nonetheless, it's just funny. And you know, people think that I'm being led astray, that I'm changing, that my ministry is taking a turn since being here. And you guys need to realize I've been promoting Chris and recommending him from the beginning. You understand? I came to Christ through Chris's ministry. And I ended up coming across this channel by this guy named Chris LaSala. And all his teachings just totally spoke to me. and I modeled my ministry after his. And it's ironic now, yeah, we're two different people, but I looked to him for guidance when I was a babe in Christ, and he helped me in the right direction to have a successful ministry based on my gifts. So if my ministry has been a blessing to you, you can thank the work God has done in Chris. Because I couldn't have been reached through some soft preacher. I had to have somebody hard reach me. That's why God used somebody like Chris, because somebody else wouldn't have been able to reach me. You understand? It took somebody who was willing to speak out and not sugarcoat their words to actually get through to somebody like me before I was saved, because I had a hardened heart. And God knew that, and he had to use a specific person to reach that kind of individual. And so if you're a soft person, yeah, maybe Chris comes off hard. But there are other people who are hardened in their hearts, and it takes a certain type of individual to reach them. You understand? And this is why I titled the video, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Because you have to be open to this. Have a bigger picture. Because a lot of people are just narrow and closed-minded. Because they see things they don't like, and they automatically come against it instead of seeing how God is culminating this whole thing. I'm going to be speaking in this church the messages that I want to speak. Nobody else is going to tell me what to say, because this church is going to be in my name and their names. Nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot say. Nobody's going to tell me how to preach, how to teach. I'm going to do it the way I'm led, and so are they. So is Chris. But you guys need to be aware of how God uses different people for different purposes to reach different kinds of individuals. I just want you to be aware of that. And so I'm going to read some of these comments to further illustrate the point that I'm trying to make. And these comments are from the last video Chris and I did. This first one, I'm not going to read all of them because there's too many, but just some of them that got a lot of thumbs up. This one was by Chris Ramirez. "Josh, your ministry was unique, and the quickening of knowledge and wisdom was definitely God's will and blessing. I think you should consider running as far away from this judgmental and disrespectful individual." You know, that's just, this person's opinion. But why would I run away from my own ministry? Since being here, my channel has tripled in size in the amount of a 6-month period. Now, I'm not saying that to be prideful or boastful, but God has done some amazing works in my life, and God has revealed things to me since I've been here that I couldn't even begin to explain in one video. You understand? The amount of revelation and peace that I've been given, and the confirmations that I've received of God himself, of being here and knowing that me being here is pleasing to him and doing his will, not because I'm some under delusion, but because God has made it clear to me what he wants from me. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, I had a sit-down conversation with God and this and that, but I know by the fruit, I know by what God is doing, what God is changing in me and in those around me. I see his hand, and I see what God is leading me to do. And I'm not going to cower away from that because people want to have their opinions and just post comments. You need to ask yourself, what is God doing through you? Because at the end of the day, most people who comment comments are not serving God. They're not really in ministry. They don't know what goes on. A lot of people don't realize the amount of sacrifice and work and effort that goes into being a minister. When people are calling your phone all night, waking you up, you and your pregnant wife up in the middle of the night because they need prayer, because they need help, calling your phone all day while you're at work and you can't answer the phone because you're working, but nonetheless the phone rings, nonetheless the emails come, nonetheless the people still need help. And a lot of people don't see all these things. They just want videos done the way they want them done. And I think that's very close-minded and sad, because not very many people I know have sacrificed their entire lives, given up their career, giving up their family, their own homes, their own businesses, giving up their everything to follow Christ. I don't see very many people doing that. I don't see very many people doing that at all. And I've learned a lot from him, and I respect him because of his sacrifices. And I've already said in other videos with Chris when I came out here, I don't agree with him on every little thing. And I'm not going to say I agree with every little tiny thing, but you know a tree by its fruit. And when I see people's lives being changed by the hundreds and thousands especially, and especially my own life, then that's something I'm going to obviously look at and know God is behind it. And me and him have had many discussions on things we didn't agree on, that we disagreed on. And you guys need to understand that I've worked with him. I've done plumbing and all kinds of electrical work, and we work on the church. All of us, we work together and we talk about all kinds of things. We understand the perception people have of us. I know people see me a certain way, and I know they see him a certain way. We're not ignorant of this. But are we going to change to please the people, or are we going to submit ourselves to God and do what God wants us to do? Because as I said earlier, God uses different kinds of people to reach different kinds of people. You have to be aware of that. Joe Stands, this is by Joe Stands. Josh, I like your ministry, but I don't think taking shots at others who take care of themselves, shaving, haircuts, lifting weights, and improving your health and appearance is a sin. It's not a sin in and of itself. You have to understand what we're trying to say. When it becomes vanity and self-centered and borderline self-idolatry, then it is a sin. You have to understand there is a line. I'm not saying personal hygiene and working out is a sin. I'm saying vanity and self-obsession with how you look to others is foolishness and a waste of time. You have to understand the line that we're trying to make. There is a distinction. It says, God definitely should come first in our lives, but let him judge the haughty in vain. Josh, you had a great ministry of your own, and I think you should part ways with Chris. His presentation is obscene and obnoxiously uncalled for. You don't need him. God will bless you because your preaching is a gift, biblically sound, respectful. Anyway, just my opinion, and I respect your opinion. I hope you respect what I'm doing because, nonetheless, I have bared more fruit here than I have the other times because, as I've mentioned, the amount of traffic and people that have discovered me, even through Chris's channel and all this stuff. Again, different personalities serve different purposes. But that doesn't mean I should part ways with him because God is using him. He's still a born-again Christian who's doing the will of God. And I believe that, and I see it firsthand. Being here, I've had to serve God in other ways. I've had to work on the land that's in my name, laying in all kinds, the water line, the electrical, and all these things, doing work on the church, meeting up with contractors, helping Chris the way I can, the best I can. And on and on and on, going to the banks, you know what I mean, and dealing with all kinds of different things. And there's the financial aspect, there's the contracting aspect. There's so much that goes into building a church people don't understand. And that's why I talk about you need to have a bigger understanding to see the vision that we're working towards, that God has given us. You understand, many people have online ministries, but there is no vision. It isn't going to turn out to anything. It's just videos. That's all it's ever going to be. And I think that's sad, honestly, because if somebody has an online ministry and God is using them, then God should be able to turn it into more than just an online ministry. Because if it's nothing but an online ministry, I think that's a joke. Because there's no meeting with people, there's no helping people in real life, it's just all online, I think that's limiting. I want to be somewhere where somebody can come and see me and talk to me in person, get prayer in person. You understand? I don't want to just hide behind a camera and live comfortably in my own home and serve God on my time. I came here to serve God on His time. And sometimes that means having to sacrifice certain aspects of my life. And that may mean I'm not able to be online as much or answer as many emails on certain days. But on my days off, I have to still pray for people on Skype even, and all kinds of stuff. People don't take these things into consideration, but nonetheless, there has to be a vision and an outcome to show forth that God is doing something. Instead of the same old online people, something has to come from it. Otherwise, is it really of God? This last comment is more of a positive one, because I didn't want to just read nothing but negative one. But I think this one's by Minis or something like that. Brother Josh, though other people discourage you for things that they perceive is wrong. Now this person has discernment. He's understanding that people are speaking on behalf of their own perceptions, not reality, not the bigger picture. They're not looking at the vision of what we're doing. They're just looking at the fact we're saying something they don't like, so they have to speak against it. That's sad. Brother Josh, though the other people are discouraged for the things they perceive is wrong. Hold on, let me reread that. Though other people discourage you for things that they perceive as wrong and suggesting you to leave this ministry that you are part of now, I perceive that the Lord called you there for a reason. Just an advice though, trust God alone in His revelations to you. Do not trust in any man. God gave you discernment. Use it, live for His purpose, and to see beyond the veil. You don't have to agree to anyone to please them. Please God alone. That was probably one of the best comments that I got on that video. I got a lot of other good ones and stuff. Not everything was negative, but nonetheless, that person understood it. And he still spoke the truth. He gave me advice that I would give to others. I tell people not to trust in man, and it would make me a hypocrite if I was trusting in man. And I'm not a hypocrite. I wouldn't do that and be that foolish to trust in man. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we came into ministry together because we have the same purpose. And we exchange our disagreements and we go to the Bible and we iron them out. We iron all of them out. You understand, guys? And these things will become more clear in time, but you have to be open-minded to the vision of what God is doing here and what we're going to be doing. You understand? I'm going to be continuing to make my own videos, of course. Not every video we do is going to be together, guys. So just relax. And so I'm pretty sure that's all there is to it. I just want you guys to realize that if people are not being led by God, then their ministries will remain stagnant. But if somebody is truly led by God, their ministry will amount to something. And I think the fruit of my ministry, of it culminating into a physical location, going into ministry with somebody else who has the same beliefs that I have, I casted out demons before I ever made a video. When I first got saved and I did my first deliverance on somebody, that changed my life. And then I began making videos. And I modeled it after Chris's channel, and I looked to his, method. And I looked to his guidance. And he helped me. So you guys need to understand that. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking the truth, guys. So I hope that puts things in perspective for you. I don't put Chris on some pedestal. You understand? I don't idolize this place. BDS is a means to an end. It's to serve a purpose that God can use to do His work through people who are willing to lay their lives down for Him, to be a vessel of honor. And when it's all said and done, this is all going to burn up like the rest of the world. We know this. But this is God's doing. And you have to be careful, because if you're telling me to leave my own ministry, what spirit is really leading you? I'm led by the Holy Spirit. I'm not concerned about that. You understand, guys? I mean, I hope you get where I'm coming from. I hope this makes sense and that you guys can take a step back and just kind of realize, okay, maybe I was quick to judge. Maybe I'm not understanding the bigger picture. Maybe I'll sit back and just see how this unfolds and see what God does. Because if this is of God, it will turn into something big. But like it says in the book of Acts, if this is not of God, then it will come to nothing. My ministry will come to nothing. Chris's ministry will come to nothing if it's not of God. So you shouldn't be worried. Alright? So I hope that was helpful. If you guys need anything, reach out. We'll get to you as soon as we can. Otherwise, be blessed in Jesus Christ's name, and I'll talk to you guys next time. My life, and then I began making videos. And I modeled it after Chris's channel, and I looked to his, method, and I looked to his guidance, and he helped me. So you guys need to understand that. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking the truth, guys. So I hope that puts things in perspective for you.